Let's talk about some of the opportunities in curriculum and instruction. We have, one of our first questions was, do you have a K-12 aligned curriculum? The immediate response was no. But we do have an essential one. But what we also heard is it's not so essential anymore. It's gotten really big. And this is another piece of the puzzle, or piece of what we do that may or may not be used. Some people are saying, I don't need it. I have this program, and I have this program, and I have this program. That's what I'm using to serve my students. So there, here again, we just have this, we have an inconsistency about what's being used. We also heard the desire of people wanting to be able to share across this district. You have a lot of good things going on in this district, but they're being held in isolation, if you will. And part of what's driving that is that there is not a common curriculum, that we do have all these different programs that are being used by the different schools in this system. So there are a lot of things that are driving that conversation, but there is a desire, never mind the fact that we have students that are roaming all over the district throughout the year, and so when they leave this school, they have one program, and when they go to this school, they have yet another one, and they're still in the same grade. And then we heard about the disconnect from elementary moving into the middle school, and then the disconnect that exists from the middle schoolers that move into the high school that bring all these different programs, and they're in different places. And excuse me, part of that is driven by the school of choice. We heard a lot about that, and that's not a discussion we need to get in here. But the curriculum that serves these students, and to be able to help them move about the district if they need to, or when they need to, is critical. It's critical for the teachers and for the students. The professional development that's being offered, a lot of professional development. However, what we heard is primarily for the instruction side of the house. There are not so many things for our classified folks, and they would like to have opportunities to have some of that professional development as well. And then here's the other thing that's a big inconsistency across the system, and that is how it's being followed up on. It's great to go have professional development, but how do we know that we're actually implementing what we learned? And that there again, that's happening inconsistently across the system. Some folks are using their instructional facilitators. Some folks are using their mentors. Some folks are not doing anything. So it's happening a lot of different ways, and we don't really know if we're taking those learnings, that knowledge and new skills, and applying them back in the classrooms or on our jobs. I'm going to move to stakeholder engagement, and I have to tell you the new buzzwords or phrase this year was customer service. We didn't hear about customers last year, and we heard customer service a lot, and it's almost become a common language or a mantra around the system, trying to really understand what the needs are of the people that you supply services to. So let's talk about some of the opportunities here, and let's jump into communication. We heard so much about communication, and we asked you, so we wanted to hear about it because it's kind of the heart of the organization. If people don't know something, what does that do? It allows the grapevine to take over. And unfortunately, the grapevine isn't always the most positive form of communication for an organization. But here are the kinds of things that we heard about communication. We have an email system We have a way to make something extremely important. We have folders. So most people are overwhelmed by all of that. There's so many places they have to go to look for emails in the folders. Everything's sent with urgency, so nothing is urgent anymore. To folks that don't have computers in front of them all day, which is a big part of your population. So now we've said, okay, you don't matter. So we need to figure out how we can best communicate so we all have the same information in a timely manner, regardless of where we sit in the organization. It's a huge opportunity. And honestly, most organizations struggle with it. Maybe not to the degree that I've heard across this organization, or some do struggle with it this much. But it's a huge opportunity and could probably fix some of the other issues going on around the district. Okay, so communication, huge opportunity in the district. Some folks told us it's gotten better since you were here last year. Some people say it's gotten worse. So we really kind of heard a mixed bag. The issue is it's still an issue, and we need to do something about it. And then we asked, related to that communication piece, do you feel like you have a voice in the district? And we heard a lot of different things about that. I don't feel like I have a voice. I'm asked, but I don't know if I really have a voice because I never get the results. I was asked to have input. I did. I participated on a team. We gave recommendations, but the recommendations we gave were totally different than what we recommended. 2, I'm not going to speak up anymore because I don't want to be criticized for it or the retribution that could follow it. So here again, being able to have a voice, we heard this from internal and external stakeholders. So it's not just you all that work inside the system, but we heard it internally and externally. Just an opportunity for us to figure out how that's going to work in an organization this size. Let me move to stellar people. When we sit in these meetings, we open it up. We want to hear, and some of you heard me say this, we want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to hear really what is on your minds. And so a lot of times, because of frustrations or concerns, we go to what I would say is probably a negative slant. And then we call that back to say, okay, so why do you stay? Or, so what are the strengths of the district? And every single time, the people in this district were identified as the biggest strength. The people, the passion, the dedication, the wanting to do the right things for kids. So it was always about the people and the strength that they bring to this system.